after Marvel has done every single non-major hero, also a whole bunch of major heroes, but not in the MCU, which are also now going to put these major heroes back into the MCU, but it's not what this one is about. They do want to do the other major set of heroes from Marvel that everybody had sort of forgotten. Well, the Marvel people haven't forgotten it, but the Fantastic Four, yay! Fantastic Four has a unfortunate history in film, not in comics, but in film, because somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s, Marvel was not doing so well, and they had like a comic department and they had a film department, and because they were not doing so well, they decided to sell off parts or all of the film department, and with that went the film rights to some of these more known heroes like Spider-Man. This is how Spider-Man ended up at Sony because of this sale. But the story gets more complicated, and is literally everything I know about this entire set of laws is because of this movie, because of how complicated it got, is that film rights are different from copyrights. It's a completely different thing. When you sell the film rights to something, you don't sell your copyright, so the person who made it still has the copyright, but they sell the option for the film company to make a movie of the whatever, in this case comic. And that has happened lots of stuff that happened in the past made it so that when and I think this probably happened in the 30s, some company bought some film rights and then decided, we're just not going to make the movie, and then this film rights, nobody else can make this movie, and we're sort of putting a monopoly on it, and a judge at some point said no, and now film rights are a set period. You actually use the right within the set period, then you get to keep the right for another set period, and I think it's like 13 years. There is some if, ands, or buts to that. In theory, this would be good, because then you put out this movie and it will make money for everybody involved, including the copyright holder, because they will get royalties. So, making it, putting it out, make money. Everybody makes money every X years, 13. Doesn't have to be 13 years. You can do it faster if you want. But what happened here was that the right was sold to a company I shall not be naming, because I'm going to be calling them shitty. A shitty company who, just on the cusp of running out of their 13 years window, quickly made a piece of celluloid garbage with the Fantastic Four name on it and stuck it on a shelf. They didn't even release it. It has been going around on videotape. I have seen it. It is celluloid garbage. Do not watch. Bad. Nah. You're going to be sorry that you wasted any second on that thing. But on the shelf, it makes nobody any money at all. But it retains the film rights for this company. So, another 13 years on the clock. This company ended up subleasing the license, the film rights, to 20th Century Fox. And now it's that low budget film is 1992, and so this new film it came out in 2005, was a big budget production, did not stay on the shelf, went to cinema. It was okay. It didn't suck, so the film did so well that they went with a part 2, which did not inconsiderably well. Whatever, they didn't do a part 3. The film does encompass the origin story in part 1, and the Silver Surfer story in part 2, which are the two of the 3 big stories of Fantastic Four. So, okay. Then more shuffling around of... I did stay with 2020... So I have it on my paper as the license went to 20th Century Fox. But by the time we are in 2015, it's now 21st Century Fox. So there's some sort of rebranding going on. And anyway, they wanted to do another Fantastic Four film in 2015. It came out. It is big budget thing. A lot of CGI, a lot of special effects. On paper, certainly good actors. It's garbage. It bombed. It bombed correctly. And it's nothing to do with the people. Actors are always sometimes just baggage on these things. They're going down with the ship. And of course, this one also does the origin story. And this time the other bad guy in the Fantastic Four franchise, which is Doctor Doom. Okay, and now we are here 10 years later. It's not much time. And Marvel wants to incorporate this. They got it back. What happened is that 20th Century was bought by... Or this division, I'm not sure. But anyhow, through a merger with Disney, it now ended up at Disney, which is Marvel, which is now, yay, they can finally make Fantastic Four movies by Marvel. Ah! After so many bad movies, and that one movie I said nobody watched it, it's around. People have watched it because they wanted to see everything. So this movie is so aware that all this stuff has gone before. And everybody knows those core stories up the wazoo. I've seen bad versions of it and good versions of it. We want something else, but we also want this. We need to have a start here. And the other problem they had, which I didn't realize until I was there, but because I'm not a Fantastic Four fan, I'm of the comics, so I had to look up some of this stuff. But the original story is from 1961 about a mad professor and his lady and her brother and a 4th person who make a team. They're in the different films, they come together in different ways. It doesn't really matter. The point is that the professor and his lady start a family. When it comes out in 1961, they start, and by 1968 there is a thingy, and everybody knows that. So Marvel is smart enough to know that you shouldn't be redoing the origin story yet again at length. To borification, until pukeification, until we are bored out of our brains. So they run through this extremely fast. So this is not any spoilerage. They're gonna have a baby. They're gonna have a baby. So we have a pregnant superhero, because they're all superheroes. They all have different powers. And what I didn't like about some of the earlier iterations is that the girl's power is kind of invisibility. It's kind of shit. Here, not shit. In fact, the one who has the shittiest power, because the other ones are so majorly powered, is the professor. He got a pretty shitty. He's got the rubber band power. He can stretch. So he does use it to great effect, but basically brain is very much what he runs on, and it's favorite, and it's Pedro Pascal. Which is everybody's favorite. I mean, him and her as the mommy and the daddy of this future baby. Oh my God, yes. Oh yes. And I think that Marvel realized that this entire setup is very white picket fence. Very white picket fence in a time where there's a lot of diversity going on. There's not any diversity in this in that sense. I mean, the core story of it, there's just no room for it. And the second problem they had was that in our MCU, there with Iron Man and a Hulk and all that, heroes are already a known thing. And we would have known if there was a Fantastic Four here. So the solution was, it's not here. It is an alternate universe, Earth. It is Earth 828, which was completely made up for this movie. And 828 is actually the birthday of one of the creators. So August 28th. So there you go. Very funny. But what they did, because they now have a blank Earth to populate, is they made a sort of an Earth in 2025, but it was one that stopped evolving in about 1965. So people have like tube televisions, and they have beehives, and they have everybody wearing hats and gloves. Except that it's obviously now it's not then, because they have way more technology than they ever had then. So they progressed in a different way. So alternative Earth that is with different sensibilities, and so your non-diversity, or they did diversity in a different way than we did. And so you get this wholesome superhero family, which is famous. They go on to the current version of the Ed Sullivan Show, who has a different name because, Ed Sullivan would have aged out. So there is a different guy, but he does the same thing that he would have done in the 60s. It's absolutely cute. I love that. The movie is a lot of fun. I think they're very well aware of what they are, so they're trying not to... They don't overreach themselves in any way. It is a great adventure. It was a lot of fun to watch. Definitely a family movie within the Marvel universe, so not in any way scary. There's stuff on the line, because it is a superhero movie. There's going to be stuff on the line, but it's not in any way ugly or scary. I love it. Next one, please. And that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.